Hi, everybody. Happy
Hello.
Wednesday. Happy
Hi.
Wednesday. Donny doesn't sound too happy.
Happy Wednesday, guys.
There you go. And
Well, consider I just sat over there for the last 3 minutes while the intros were playing, refreshing the YouTube side because it kept coming up with a playback error.
Uh-oh.
oh no.
Can everyone in
Uh,
the chat see us okay?
Right
yeah,
now they can, but little Patty had the same error too. It looks like too. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah.
this
Okay.
is not
So
the night, YouTube.
yeah, there is a problem on the tube of you this evening. Um, so we have to just kind of grin and bear it, unfortunately. Ah, but,
I bet
and the bad thing is Randy's wearing his glasses. He won't be able to see a dang thing.
see these are computer glasses, okay? Well, my big bifocals are in there, but everything else I got is bifocals except for these, which bifocals are all readers. These are designed for computer screens, okay? So I can see these computer
Ooh.
screens very, very well right now. I can see
Ooh.
everything all you degenerates out there say. You know what? I can see it all. Especially you, Jason. I'm looking at you. Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Right.
Uh,
I see you.
I see you.
I see you. Oh gosh, guys. I mean,
Uh,
what
uh,
a week. What a week.
three
Um
times
I
now.
I know. I don't even know what to do with this week. This is something else.
Yeah.
Um Tex was under the weather on Monday. I haven't heard from him. I'm hoping he's feeling a little bit better. Because he doesn't miss a show. He doesn't miss a show. He'll do extra shows before he'll miss a show. So I
He
hope
seemed
he's
okay
feeling
last
better.
night, though, on his show.
Huh?
He seemed okay last night, though, on his show.
Well, good, good.
Yeah.
Well, it comes on late for me, so I don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Um, but Tex and I will be in Jefferson, Texas,
Hmm.
this weekend, this Saturday, for the Jefferson, Texas Bigfoot Conference. So if you're
Nice.
in and around the area, come on, stop by, see what's happening. Uh, Tex has his famous karaoke Friday night planned for us. So I am leaving early so I can get there, so I can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It's going to be crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Um, but that's what I have planned right now. So, I mean, what do you guys got planned this weekend? Anyone?
I've got work and then video games.
Yeah. He doesn't. He don't change much. I play forklift, and I'm going to be building Shrek's
Yeah.
swamp in the front yard. So
Yeah, he's setting
There
up
you
his
go.
Halloween decorations.
yeah,
Right. But Donnie, aren't you doing a show this weekend, this Saturday?
Yep. I will be. I've been taking a couple nights, a couple of weeks off, just to recharge my batteries, just to recharge my creative juices. But
Yeah.
I think I'll be doing a show this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's gonna be
good.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
good. Now, Blondes and Booze will be on tomorrow night. Krista will not be with us. She has a work thing and won't be with us. I don't know who's going to be on with me. It may be Paul. It may
I think
be
Tex said he was going to be.
Natalie. Maybe Tex. We'll see who all shows up tomorrow night. But I'll be there.
Obviously,
And obviously, well, it's not. Is it? Well, yeah. Sometimes.
I'll be asleep, is what I said.
Yes, please. And Friday night, Blondes and Booze will not have a show. I just want to let everybody know that now. We will not have a show again this Friday night due to the fact that I will be in Jefferson, Texas, and Krista will be at her daughter's football game. Which
Mm.
I know you guys follow us, and both of our kids are in band, so that is the number one priority,
Uh
family
oh.
first, as we always say, in
Yep.
the island of misfit toys. So we will not have a show, just to let everybody know that. So
And I think a lot of people in the chat are having a hard time hearing and seeing us. Actually,
Yeah, I'm telling people right now
I've
to
seen a.
relog right now because it looks like who was it? Paula. Paula says she closed out, completely closed out of YouTube and re-brought it back up, and it fixed everything. So,
yeah, totally go all the way out. Make sure you
yep.
even close it out. Do not leave the page open, anything. Close it all out and then go right back in it.
Yep.
Poncho says
Luckily,
he
mine's
sees us
working right
fine.
now, so I'm going to cross my fingers and hope it makes
Right.
it the rest of the way through.
Yeah, because Donnie and Randy and myself, we can see each other fine. We're not having
Yeah.
any issues on our side at all. It is all tube of you.
Yeah.
Them special ones.
Them
Them
special.
special ones that are out
Yeah.
there running their thing.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Donnie he's presenting us with Haunted Germany.
Yep, we're going to talk about paranormal and cryptid tales from the nation of Germany. I picked Germany because last time we did Kenya, and I want to do a different country and like a different continent, just to keep
Absolutely.
things, just to keep things a bit fresh.
Yeah.
And I figured today we do Europe.
Oh yeah.
I thought Germany would be a good one because fun little trivia for you guys listening at home. Brandy and Randy have both been there.
Yes. Yes, I
So-
lived there for 5 years.
I
Absolutely.
was there for, yeah. And
So
I've been
let
to
me
just
ask
about
you-
all these places we're talking about.
So let me ask you guys then, before we get too deep into weeds on the topic and everything, give us a brief summation of your time in Germany and what you thought of the country and the place for people who, like myself, who've never been there.
Well,
Ladies
I guess for me, it was the historic buildings that are still there. Now, I
Mhm.
was in Kaiserslautern,
Yeah.
Ramstein, that sort of thing, and that was a favorite place of Hitler. So
Mhm.
you see, not the swastika, but his insignia was the golden eagle, and you see, that popping up everywhere. So that's kind of that kind of gives you the creepies. Absolutely, absolutely. But what I loved about the place is you could be just driving around random, and up pops the castle. It's like, bam, there's a castle. You're like, it's not even
Or
on my
some
map.
sort of ruins anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, where did this come from? And 9 times out of 10, you can stop and just go look at it. You know what I mean? It's there. And
Yeah.
you do get a lot of creepy feelings. A lot of things are watching you in these locations. You get the spider web feeling, and
A
the hair
lot.
standing up on your arms. Yeah, it's like that a lot. But in a lot of the buildings and everything, even the department stores, things like that have been there, that they're in these locations that have been built for hundreds of years. You get that feeling, even though it's a store, it's open, and you go in and you're like, ooh, this is kind of icky. You get that feeling. But the amount of statues and just art and everything around is just absolutely fabulous. And the other thing that I can say is that Germany, it fits inside the state of Texas, so it's not that huge. Okay, it's a smaller state, and they live on top of each other versus spreading out like Americans do.
Yep. Build up.
They build up. Yes. They'll build on top of one another versus spreading out and having their own piece of property. They'll just build up. I mean, and then what's weird about it is sometimes they will have cattle and everything down on the very bottom, and then all of the apartments and homes and everything are built on top of it. It's weird. It's weird.
It smells too.
It does smell at times. It does smell at times. The first apartment that I ever lived in, well, the only apartment, because I love this apartment, the only one that I lived in was heated by coal when I first moved in. They changed that over about they changed that over about 2 years in. But yeah, it was coal, and about once a month the truck would come up, back up, and there's a chute that goes down in the basement, and it just pours the coal right in. Really weird, but yeah. But I had no problem with being cold, I'll tell you that.
How bad were the winters there?
I mean,
I about to say that where you were at, you were a little bit south, so I mean, you didn't have, you had ice and stuff, I bet, didn't you, and a little snow.
Yeah. I mean, we had the normal thing, but what we also have to remember is we didn't have tornadoes in Germany.
Didn't have that. Didn't have big rainstorms, really. You had rain, but you didn't have storms.
you didn't have the weather patterns like we do here. Like you're
Mm.
praying for your life, like I think I'm going to be doing this weekend.
Yep.
Because we're going to be right in the middle of the terrible storms. Now they've only said that it's a 15% chance, but it's getting worse and worse every time they up the model. So make sure that anybody that is within like upper East Texas or mostly Arkansas, East Tennessee, Southern Missouri, hey, you guys,
Yeah.
check on your
It's like
friends.
30% is what they're telling us now. I mean, but it's literally from DFW East. So where I'm
Yeah.
at on the west side of Fort Worth, probably gonna get nothing.
Right. So
But
everybody just check on your friends this Saturday and make sure they're okay. And keep your eyeball on the weather if you're in the spot, because this is abnormal weather, but this whole year has been like that. I don't know what's happening, but the whole year, I mean, we've had tornadoes and strange just occurrences in weather. And we've talked about it before, where I think that the whole Tornado Alley is actually moving to the east,
Yeah.
or expanding to the east, should I say. And I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. Like I said, I'm going to be apart from my mom and my daughter, and I hope that that the weather is just stormy, and that's about it. Have some, maybe some lightning and water. That's it.
Yeah. So where you were at K-Town, Kaiserslautern, Ramstein, whatever you want to call it, where you're at K-Town, did you ever make it up to Bamberg area?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you remember a little town on the way to Bamberg called Eder Oberstein?
Yes.
The Church in the Rock that's right there?
Yes.
That was one of my most favorite places in the world to look at.
Hmm.
Didn't care if I ever went in it. When you drive by that thing, you're just like, what is that?
Do you think you can find a picture for us real quick?
Oh, yeah. I'll go find it real quick. But that was
Yeah,
one of the best little bitty town. I mean, there probably wasn't, 2,000 people in that village? Maybe.
I'm thinking kind of lower, maybe 1,000, 1,500, maybe.
And that's pushing it, actually.
Yeah. It is. It's a cute little town. I'm trying to remember now. This has been a minute. I'm trying to remember. But there's a lot of things like that, just peeking out from these little towns and everything that you may have lost the history on at some point, and you don't realize that this whole country is just I think we've talked about it before, but there has been different countries that have been in Germany and had settlements there, such as Trier was definitely Roman.
Yes.
They had the
Trier's big town, the baths and stuff through there.
Yeah, the amphitheater and all of that. The whole thing that they did, it just looks like ancient Rome sitting there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
And Donnie, I just uploaded a night picture of Eder Oberstein with the church in the rock and the castle on the hill. So if you want to bring that one up, yeah, you can put it up if you want.
There it is.
That's a night picture of that.
Wow. And
you can see it's a time lapse too, judging from the what you call those over there, the lights and shit, the red lights, the tail lights that are over on the right side down there. So it's a time lapse is what it probably is. So that's Eder Oberstein right there. And I mean, that's the main drag. I mean, I'll show you an actual, let's see if I can get this down here real quick. But this is Eder Oberstein, the entire aerial view. Okay.
Maybe if he hurries up and gets to it.
It's uploading. That's what.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. And you see there to the right center, that's where the Church in the Rock is right there. Just above that museum. And I'm like, this was like one of my favorite places in the world to ever go through. Honestly, it really was. Because you find when you go to these places like this and you actually run into the German people, you'll make friends there and you'll have people to take you into their house and feed you. Okay. That's how welcoming they are.
Yeah.
So, did I ever
say, go ahead?
No, I was just saying, did I ever think that the church itself would, when we went into that, did I think it was haunted? It would not have surprised me in the least. It gave you that kind of, it's kind of like Westminster Abbey when you walk in there, that emptiness and that heaviness.
Right.
It kind of gives you that feel too, you know? So, yeah, I mean,
some of these buildings are nearly 1,000 years old.
Oh, every bit of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Every bit
So
of it,
there would be a lot of residual stuff there, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There was always the river. Okay, you get on the Rhine. You were in K-Town. I was in Wiesbaden. At Darmstadt, you could get on the river boats, and they had what was called Rhine of Flame once a year. Rhine of Flame takes you up the Rhine River, and all the castles that line the Rhine River were lit up like they were on fire. So as you're riding along, you're literally looking at all these castles lit up in red light and such, and you're like, "This is cool as hell." But anywho,
speaking of castles, I guess we can move on to our first haunted location, which I think people will recognize the name.
Yep.
I see that you've uploaded some pictures as well.
Yes, I did.
This is one of the spots. Yeah, we were both kind of looking at this one, but Castle Frankenstein.
Yep.
Frankenstein's castle. Well, it's not called Frankenstein's castle. It's just You know, it's near Frankfurt. Like it's just like 15 minutes away from Frankfurt Airport. And the Franks were like a local peoples there that inhabited the area much during in days of antiquity. The Franks, right? And Stein means stone, so it's like the stone of the Franks, which is a common, whenever you see Stein in a German name, that's what it means, stone.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the stone of the Franks, or the Frank stone, or Castle Frankenstein. Now, people obviously recognize this from the story of Mary Shelley's famous novel, Frankenstein. Which historians are pretty confident Mary Shelley did go through. So she was familiar with the name.
Yeah. They said, I read something today that she was actually inspired to write the novel by going through that castle.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely did visit the castle. Now, the castle itself was built in 1250. It was used for a whole bunch of different purposes. It was split up between different families. It was obviously used as a military installation because that's what castles were traditionally built for. Later on, it became converted into a makeshift hospital and a refugee site. Went derelict in the 1800s, but there's a lot of history. A lot of noble families went through there, and a lot of just the common folk occupied that area. And yeah. Famously, this one is regarded as the most famously haunted castle because of the association it has with the famous novel, Mary Shelley's work. Now, the interesting bit is that while I was looking into this, I found that not only, she obviously got the name Frankenstein from this castle, right? And she obviously went through there. But there was a man that was born at the castle who a lot of people believe was actually the real life basis of Dr. Frankenstein.
I believe it. Yeah.
Johann Conrad Dippel. Randy, you heard of him?
I've seen the face because where I was stationed, we weren't too far from that castle to start with. So when you first go into Germany, they put you in something that's called Head Start, and you literally spend 2 weeks learning nothing but the language and learning the customs and the courtesies and the history of the place. And that was one of them.
This guy, incidentally, was actually born in the castle itself.
Yeah.
Not to say that he was of like noble family. I think it was because at the time it was being used as a hospital, so maternity wards.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kids would
Yeah.
just be born there. So, but he was actually born. So this guy was interesting. So he lived from 1690. He was born in 1692. Died in 1734.
Yep.
No, sorry, 1673 to 1734.
If I say he was 70 something, wasn't
Yeah. And this guy was interesting because he's kind of like that. He reminded me a lot of that Count of Saint Germain. Not that he lived forever, but he claimed, because this guy started off as a theologian.
he? Okay.
Because back then in like the late 17th century, everyone was just religious. This was when the Reformation was going on.
Okay.
And everyone was just like, if you wanted to be anything in society, you would like, go into theology and religion.
Uh-huh.
So this guy was a theologian, but then he went kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he started getting into like all the esoteric stuff, all the hermetics,
Yeah.
and the secret societies, and he started learning alchemy. And there were a lot of old colleagues of his who were once like really impressed with his theological works and his theological writings. But this guy, you could tell he like abandoned his faith and started getting into all this secret knowledge and alchemy. And you know how alchemy is all about using mystical stuff to produce like the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this guy apparently was going around claiming that he had developed the secret to eternal life. Like he developed Dippel's oil. And he had this special oil. And this guy kind of went nuts. He would get in trouble a lot because he would be like going around all over the place. He had like a lot of controversial views about the church. He claimed to have, through his alchemical practices, developed the elixir of life. And he was known to do some pretty gnarly experiments with dead animals, dissections, and eventually rumors were going around that he was digging up cadavers, human cadavers, and experimenting with them to figure out the key to eternal life. This guy actually attempted to buy Castle Frankenstein. He attempted to buy it but instead of money, he offered the owners at the time his elixir that would grant them eternal life. They obviously turned him down.
Well, yeah. Well, wow.
But a lot of people think that this is the guy that because Mary Shelley would have heard about him as she was going through there. And then a lot of people out there believe that this is the guy that Mary Shelley based Dr. Frankenstein off of. Which kind of makes sense because he was rumored to have been doing some pretty gnarly stuff with like cadavers.
Yeah, it's not a far stretch.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Not that far of a stretch.
Yeah, it's kind of like she could have wrote about his life and the stuff that he was doing, and just went a step further in saying that he was trying, that he had made this creature come to life. But even though he was trying, basically.
Yeah.
Never succeeded, but she just took it one step further and said he succeeded. So it was kind of like the story was given. It was basically given to him, saying, here's the story.
Yeah.
And she would have heard about him. If she was in that area, she would have heard about him because this guy was pretty famous and pretty notorious, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's like, that was a weird story anyway. It's just kind of like, they just took it one step further. That was it. I mean, the whole thing was odd anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, think about it. I mean, the Frankenstein novel, of course, the novel doesn't really compare to the original movie, obviously. They took a lot of creative license, shall we say. But think about the actual novel itself, the way she described the corpse that he used and the brain that he used and how he used her description of how to reanimate probably came almost completely from this guy's actual notes and such. I bet money she got access to his notes and stuff.
Actually, there was some interesting trivia that I learned while looking into this. A lot of the stuff that gets put into the Frankenstein lore actually wasn't written, but you know how like in Dracula, right? There was
Yeah,
all this stuff that got put in by Hollywood about
yeah,
Dracula that wasn't in the
Yeah.
original novel. Well,
Yes.
the same thing about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, right?
yeah,
Like, everyone commonly refers to the monster as Frankenstein. Obviously, if you read the novel, she doesn't
yeah.
make that
She never
inference
calls
at
it Frank.
all.
Yeah,
One of the other things, one of the common misconceptions is that, and you'll even see this in like all the movies, even the ones that try to remain faithful to the book, she never mentions using electricity to resuscitate the monster in her books, right? That's
yeah,
all tacked on by Hollywood.
yeah,
Even that Kenneth Branagh one, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with like
yeah.
Robert De Niro, it
But
tried to
it's
be
still
all
fake.
like accurate towards the book.
Yeah,
Even that had electricity.
exactly.
That was
Never
added
even
on
mentioned.
by Hollywood,
Mm,
but the rumor of electricity started because of this guy.
yeah.
Because this guy was rumored to have been using electricity to try to revive like dead animals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
I
think
just
he
been.
was?
Do you think he what?
Do you think he was using it?
I
Or do
don't
you
think it
think
was.
this was a little bit before the time?
I
Yeah,
think he would have tried because you have to consider back then people's understanding of electricity. They thought of it like magical almost.
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, they had no way
Yeah,
of generating electricity
yeah,
to start with. That he would have had to harness a lightning bolt to try it. So
yeah.
obviously, lightning rods. And at the time we're talking about with him, that was even before Ben Franklin had published his findings on it.
Mhm.
Right. It was around the
So
time actually. Yeah,
yeah, about the same time frame.
yeah.
I think what 1725 or something was when he did it.
Yeah, people didn't really understand much about electricity back then. It's
Yeah,
kind of like remember in like the 50s and 60s, like all these comic books came out about these superheroes and all their backstories where they got hit by something that was like all irradiated,
yeah,
like
exactly.
radiation, because the common people had such a like cursory knowledge of radiation.
Hmm.
So people thought it gave you superpowers. If you count leukemia as a superpower, then maybe it does, but no, radiation doesn't do that, right?
Right.
No, unless
No,
you watch The Simpsons.
right. So that was people's attitude back then with electricity. Even more so because, they just figured out what it was. So yeah, I think this guy definitely would have done something like that
Mhm.
and
If he could have
experimented
harnessed
on
it, yeah,
bodies.
I bet he would have. If he could have
Yeah.
harnessed it, I bet he would have.
I bet you he tried.
Yeah,
Now, I don't think it's his ghost in particular that's haunting Castle Frankenstein, but Castle Frankenstein is known to be quite haunted.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, there have been a number of like ghost hunting shows that have done it because this castle is open to the public.
Yeah,
Nowadays
Ghostbusters
it's used
International did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
nowadays it's used for like weddings. Like you can go there, it's open to the
Oh yeah,
public.
we could in 1996 to 2000. We could go in there no problem.
Did you try to go in there?
I did go in there.
Oh, you did
I've
go
been
in
there.
there.
Yeah, I've been in there.
Oh. So
I
what
mean,
was it like?
it's it's a castle. Honestly, I'm telling you, you'll see little differences between the castles. But as far as I was concerned, you go into one, you went into all of them for the most part.
Hmm.
Depending on how it was set up and how because like you got St. George, that's St. Gore, that is completely set up different than the way Frankenstein's is. I mean,
Yeah.
because the turrets are in a different spot, you're overlooking the
Mhm.
Rhine versus where you just got kind of high ground with Frankenstein's castle. So
Mhm.
um, now, is it cool? Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
you go see as many as you can see. Honestly, if you ever get over there, go see as many of them as you can get into because that's just something you'll never see. It's a bucket list thing. You don't get to see them every day like they do. They can go to it all the time. Germans just like whatever, but we go over there and we're all about it because we don't see that stuff every day. Um, but the way I was understanding when we were there, the rumored ghosts. In fact, the tour guide actually, the rumored ghosts that were actually Franco-Russian or Franco-Prussian soldiers from the 1500s, from what we were
Yeah.
told. And they said that they supposedly walk the hallways and still run the turrets and such like that. Which I don't think there's any turrets still standing, but there might be. I can't remember off the top of my head. Uh, but that was the biggest thing, and they actually encouraged you to just stop and listen and see if you could hear the steps, much like if you're in Gettysburg, you kind of just stop in the field and wait to see if you can hear the drums. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it was there.
Hmm. Boondock Mojo asks, are kitchens in the castle all set up the same?
I don't think they let us into the kitchen areas. Did they let y'all in?
Well, the thing about it is these castles, a lot of them are in ruins. They are not they're not together. It is ruins, and you basically can see where they would have the hearth or where they would, cook, warm the food or cook the pots or
Yeah.
whatever. You could kind of see that, but they weren't all set up the same for sure. But it was just depend on who designed it and who made it. Like I said, were many countries that had dabbled around in Germany. Okay,
Yeah.
there are many countries, so you got to take in the architecture of whoever that person was in what their home country would do. But I mean, honestly, there were only a few castles that I had been into that were intact 100%.
Yeah.
And the first one was Heidelberg. Germany was one where I went into the castle, and that one is intact. And I think that's the only one that I went in that was completely intact.
Basically, but they do a lot to maintain that one because Heidelberg's right down the road from me in Wiesbaden too. And that was one of those, is like, you go in it and you think you're walking into the way the Alamo is now, down in San Antonio, the way they preserved it and kept it, they shored it up, but they didn't diminish it either. You know what I mean? They tried to keep it as close to realistic as they could without destroying it.
Yeah, they're not rebuilding, they're keeping it together.
Yeah.
That's how now
that's it.
The only castle I think that I went to in Europe that is 100% intact, and that would be Neuschwanstein. That was the only one that I had been to where the whole castle was intact.
Well, yeah, but that's come on, that's the Disney castle. You know what I mean? You're talking about it. That sucker is the biggest tourist attraction probably in all of Germany. Honestly,
it makes
that's
the
one
money.
that
It makes the money. Yeah.
That's the one that the Disney castle is based off of.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh.
I got many pictures of that one. Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But like I said, and that's not even in Germany. So you have that.
Is it?
But in Germany itself, I don't know. I mean, I hadn't been in one that was fully intact except for Heidelberg. And that's because now they're using it as a university. So, or they were at that time. Now, whatever they're using it for now, this is, a couple decades ago, everyone. Go ahead, Randy, laugh. It was a couple decades ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea, but they were using it as a university. Yeah. So, whatever it is now, I'm hoping they're still keeping it together, especially with all of the fountains and statues and everything on that. They're keeping those intact also in Heidelberg.
Hang on a second here. I'm gonna open this in a new. I'm gonna share this tab. This is a newer photo from about a year ago. It says.
Oh, okay.
And let's see if I can get it.
I'm
just looking up Neuschwanstein. Just kind of give you an idea of what that turret was like and that steeple and everything. Because that was one of those. I was like, and that's coming from that one side right there.
Oh, that's not even the pretty side.
No,
that's not even the pretty side.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the actual facades and stuff on it. I'm like, they're still at least doing what they can to maintain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to see if you can find a picture of it from the side. The side is where it's really impressive. You look at it at the front, and it sits up on a hill, and it's just absolutely gorgeous sitting up, a hill, a mountain. I'm going to say a mountain because that's what it's like. It's sitting way up there, but then down at the bottom of that, they had the hunter's castle where they would come down and hunt, and they would use that bottom castle for that.
Kind of like that one. And that's not even still a good picture of it.
No.
You need a good aerial, and I can't seem to find a good aerial of it at all.
I'll have to look for it. I'm looking at the box of them, but right now, but I think I have my own pictures of it.
Here's an aerial from 2 years ago, but once again, it doesn't show it like. Oh wait, here we go. Got something here. This is from 3 years ago.
Yeah, you really have to get on the side of it to get the full, I guess, the full structure to really get the vision of what they were building, which it was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, can you blow that up a little?
Yeah, let me see here. I gotta go. Control.
He's trying to.
I'm working on it. Give me a second here.
Oh my goodness.
Stop whining. God.
But as you can see, though, you can see like it's kind of like on a mountain. I wouldn't even call that a hill, y'all. That's way bigger. Trust me, I walked it. Yeah.
Let's see if I can zoom it this way. Not let me zoom here. Usually I can control. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. So you can see where everybody's walking around out here, just like if you were at Disney World. That whole walkway.
Yep. And there was an interesting thing that I learned about in this castle. They were saying that everybody would, if a statue was made of them, regardless, they would make the statue kind of chubby. Because if you were chubby, that means you were wealthy. So these owners of these castles, even though they may have been skinny, their statue would be kind of chubby.
Yeah.
And there was one particular owner of this castle here, and they say that he never drank a drop of water. He always drank wine, even from birth. They're saying that he always drank wine. Huh?
Was that the king that built it?
Yes.
King
so
Ludwig.
he would always drink wine.
Yeah.
And then one day he just decided to try water. And the day he drank water was the day that he passed away.
Yep. I heard about that one. That was because King Ludwig didn't just have that castle. He had 9 different castles throughout Germany.
Yeah.
And there's one in the middle of the lake at Chiemsee, a place called Chiemsee in Germany, just on the Austrian border, that has Roman baths in it that you would not believe. And it's just, we're talking about decadence for days. I mean, it just, and every one of them have their own ghost stories with them. Every single one of them do.
I mean, can you imagine that you're in one of those hot baths, and you're just in there just having a good soak, and the next thing you know, you hear people talking? That would unnerve me just a hair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
kind of like,
no, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't appreciate that in the bathroom.
No.
But that,
if it was in like
that's
a
where they
living
would have
room,
their talks. That's where they would talk business a lot of times. That's where they could do it without the women. It's kind of like, that was like the man cave type of deal, except they got baths. That was their spa.
Yeah, they would drink wine all day. I mean, people have been doing that throughout history, like just drink just ale. And
ale.
There was actually a practical reason for it. It was because a lot of the water quality was so
bad,
and you could literally die from just drinking water because of all the pathogens and pollutants and everything. That one of the ways to purify it and to make it ready for consumption was to turn it into alcohol. Although the wine and the ale and the beer back then is not the same now. So
no,
it's not like how it is now.
So, right. And you can definitely taste the difference in how they refine their alcohol. Especially when they do the beer. I mean, you can just definitely taste the difference between American beer versus German beer and wines and things like that. You can definitely tell the difference. And then from Germany to Italy, you can tell the difference, because you got the Rhine wine area.
Yep.
Okay. That's and I drink a lot of wine from the Rhine area. It's it tastes good to me. I really like it, and I drink a lot of stuff from Italy too. But they're distinctly different.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to that, if you're a wine drinker, pay attention to where it's coming from, and then just check out the taste.
Yeah.
It's really different.
Oh,
Really different.
changes everywhere. Changes
Yeah.
everywhere. Just in different areas there, honestly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but I went into a lot of places where they have the wine tasting in the Rhine area.
Yeah.
And those places are creepy.
The
You know,
vineyards.
because I got
Most of
these
them are
big old
ruins.
wine
wineries?
vats and all of this
Yeah.
stuff in there. But it smells like, you know, of course, like the barrels, it's
Yep.
got that alcohol wine barrel smell to them, but it also has like old, like
Everything
I
just
don't
smells
remember.
old.
Yeah, it has that really old smell to it.
That
Not
rustic smell.
mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
mold. It's very distinct, but it
It's a
just
musky
reminds.
pet smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to thinking about how many people have been here, how many people worked here over the hundreds of years, and all of this other kind of stuff, and that's creepy too. I mean, I've had all these thoughts walking into all these places, because I mean, when you're like me, it's like that's the first thing that's coming to you is this place haunted?
Yeah.
But most of the time, you can only take tours. You can't do the ghost hunts or anything.
No.
You can only go based on what your body's feeling. You can't go by what you're hearing because there's usually a lot of people.
And you'll notice a lot of these things. We got pictures of all this stuff, and the different castles and the different places and stuff like that. What we don't have? We don't have a lot of evidence pictures, is what we don't have.
No.
Because you don't get to do the overnights and stuff like that. You don't get to do stuff. The little bits you can find is stuff that somebody snapped with a little camera at one time or another going back in history. I mean, for the last 30 years.
Right. And then you're just kind of like, well, were there other people there? If it wasn't a controlled environment, you don't know. But you have to really go by what your body's telling you. Absolutely.
So
because there's really no other way.
Yeah.
Unless you get lucky and just get a picture and then you're like,
you gotta feel for those. I call it electrified cobwebs feeling.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
The ones that just don't feel right.
Once you get that feeling, because I felt that before, once you get that feeling, something's about to go down.
Yes,
oh, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you walk through it and you feel like you just walked through a mass of spider webs and you're like,
yeah. I call it electrified cobwebs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The first thing I do, you guys, I'm gonna tell it myself here. The first thing I do is when I walk through something like that, I'm looking for a piece of my hair.
Yeah.
Like there was something stuck and I'm looking for my hair. So I'm doing this. If you see me doing this, that's what I'm checking for.
Check for spider webs that got on me.
I'm checking for my hair. And then I start checking for spider webs, and then I'm doing this, and then checking my hair, my hat, or something, and I'm trying to pull and see if something's going to come off with it. And a lot of times it didn't. It was just basically what your body was telling you, and they're weird, especially when you go, when you're going right at dawn or dusk in some of these places.
Oh, yeah.
The feelings get worse, I guess. Because during the day, as we talk about this many, many times together about people bringing their own kind of things with them.
Energy.
Yeah, they're bringing. Yeah, we'll just say that. That's a good way to put it. They're there's some sort of energy.
Yeah.
It's harder to tell. It's harder to tell because you've got all these people running around. But when you get in there, like if you're first or last to go, it starts to intensify because you just have less people around. But yeah, it's kind of creepy, everyone. I'm gonna say Germany is beautiful, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
We're not even going to hit any of the military ones. Me and Donny talked about it. We're not even touching the military ones.
Randy, do you have any places you want to discuss before I move on to the next one?
No, go ahead.
No, go right ahead. I mean, because
Yeah,
we're
let's
going to
move
get to
on.
the Black Forest sooner or later, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Well, that's actually what I was going to discuss next. I'm saving the best for last. So,
Oh
Okay.
well,
All right. Well,
I actually have my clock from the Black Forest, by the way.
you get your cuckoo clock?
No, I got a mantle clock.
Oh, gotcha.
okay, so guys, so I guess we might as well go into it. So the Black Forest, which is what, southwest Germany?
Yep.
It's a very old forest, very thick, very eerie looking, and it is the setting for a lot of those classic fairy tales that we all grew
All
up
the
with.
Grimm. Yep.
All the Grimm's one. And apparently, if you go there, you can see why. Because, again, the place is very thick. It's very old. It's just... I wish I had more pictures of it, actually. I should have loaded more pictures up. Because when you look up pictures of the Black Forest, you're like, it's no surprise that people would think it was haunted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just creepy
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like
It is.
the...
It's creepy.
It's like that forest in Japan, you know? The self-deletion forest.
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, because most of the year, I mean, it is kind of like foggy. There's like a dense fog in there a lot, most of the year, and it is kind of weird to walk through. I only been into a little bit of it, you know, when we went on some type of tour, because again, you just can't go
Willy-nilly, yeah.
willy-nilly like we
Yeah.
can in the United States. We can't do that over there because everything is protected.
Oh, good God, yeah. Especially trees.
Yeah, trees are a big one. Trees are a big one.
Yeah.
That's why people build on top instead of building out, because it's Um, but I could see where the stories would come from, like the Fae and all of that stuff coming through there, because it is, look at, see there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's foggy pretty much most of the year.
Year round. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this place must be creepy at night.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't get in it. You know what I mean?
There
I mean,
are certain
I'm
spots.
sure you could sneak in somewhere, but I wouldn't want to get caught. You know what I
Well,
mean?
there are certain spots that you can go in and rent places along the edges of it. And
Mhm.
there's I can't remember if they've got an arm. No, it's not the same, but I'm saying you get some of it at least, you know.
Yeah, you
And
get a little bit.
they do have tours that you can walk through there. They did it one time. I don't know if they still do
Yeah.
it or not. But
Right.
it's still by dusk you're pretty much getting out of there because nobody wants to be in there.
Right.
And that's not from a liability standpoint. That's from the actual tour guides going, yeah, I'm not going to be in here with you guys. Let's go now.
Right.
That's
Now, I did get to camp right there at the Black Forest. I did get to camp there.
Oh, you can't.
And I do have to say, that was the very first time I ever heard a cuckoo bird.
oh
ever.
yeah,
Hmm.
they're wild telling, ain't they?
They are. They sound just like a clock, y'all. They sound just like a clock.
Mhm.
And so, you know, and I'm sitting there, and it was super early in the morning, and this German couple, and they were older couple, and they were camping like almost right next to us, and we were just sitting there, and she was like, would you like some coffee? And I'm like, yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd love some coffee. If anybody knows me, yeah, I'll take that coffee. Thanks.
And
So
heartbeat. Watch this.
yeah, it's like coffee, yes, because it was cold. It's chilly there. The temperature
Mhm.
dropped a lot while you're there. And I was just drinking my coffee, and then all of a sudden you hear the cuckoo bird going cuckoo, cuckoo, and I'm looking around. And then she started laughing. She goes, "Is that your first time?" I went, "Yeah, never heard that before." And she just giggled. She goes, "Yeah, we come here every year to listen to them." So you know, it's pretty cool.
It's known as the birthplace of the cuckoo clock. Another thing you could give this place potentially credit for, this could be the actual birthplace of Dogman. A lot of werewolf legends
Yes.
originated here. This is the original LBL, y'all.
Hey, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Even on the tours walking through into that area and stuff, there are times when you're looking in those woods going, something's watching me. Something's
Yeah.
watching
Mhm.
me. And it's
Yeah.
got a lot of people believe the fae are in there big time, but it's a dark fae. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
you don't
They've
want to
got a
screw
lot
with
of
them type
face. A
thing.
lot of their legends, love Fey legends, match up
Yeah.
with the ones here, like almost to a T.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, you could tell where the Brothers Grimm got these fairy tales from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, it was just it's such a I want to say I hate to use the word, but it's mystical. It's such a mystical
Yeah.
place that please never let me get turned loose in there and leave me alone for, you know, a few days just to walk around and do nothing.
Right, right. Because Donnie, I think you're right. I think we would run into something very much a cryptid if
Mm-hmm.
we were to go through there. Now, whatever it may be, now again, this is not a super vast thing, this black forest. It's not
Right.
like
No.
what we would have here in the United
Yeah.
States.
Well,
Like
it's a
these
lot
national,
smaller now than when it would originally was because
Yeah.
of deforestation. It was used to be much bigger than that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the original stories of werewolves and people encountering werewolves from starting from the medieval ages and on up to like the early 17th century and 18th centuries, people have claimed to have seen dogman-like entities,
Yeah.
fey creatures.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's been
think
the
about the
yeah.
trolls and the
Oh yeah.
doesn't that kind of freak you out? It's kind of like, they talk about the stories, but then you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you can just imagine them being in there
Oh, in a
because
heartbeat.
yeah, it is, it's thick, very thick in there.
Now, one
Um,
particular entity I did come across in terms of legends, not so much cryptids like people in modern day encountering, but
Yeah.
the Burgomunch is
Okay.
something that people going through these woods would encounter. Think of it as like a skinwalker, but nice. So
Is
the
it supposed to be the
Burgomunch would
friar there?
appear. So it's basically the most of the accounts they say it appears to people who are lost. Because if you look at these woods, you would imagine it'd be pretty easy to get lost in, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's how a lot of people unfortunately perish. But there have been accounts of people who were lost in days of antiquity, who have come back, were eventually found. But when they were found, they reported being guided to safety by what appeared to be an old man, like a Gandalf-looking figure, but like 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
okay.
Which is
A
why
long
that would
white
look like
beard.
Why
kind of
can't
looks
we
like a
have
monk,
those in
right?
the States?
What's up?
Why can't we have those in the States? You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
12-foot Gandalf dude, you get lost in the woods and he's gonna like, okay, I can guide you out of here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It'd be nice, but will it happen? No.
Not
No.
100% benevolent though. Only like if it's a situation where someone's like an innocent person is lost and they
Yeah.
need help getting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
If you try to go in and mess with that thing, apparently he has been known to ruin your day real bad. If people go in there who are like, not respectful or who are like evildoers or like people who
Oh,
disrespect the woods.
dude, I'm telling you right now, there's rumors, and I say this as rumors because I don't know for sure if it's actually true, but there's rumors at the yin yang, especially when we were there in Germany. Do not ever take anything out of the Black Forest that was not
Mhm.
sold to you by somebody at the Black.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you got caught even with a piece of a twig or a branch that you wanted to say, hey, I got this at the Black Forest, it's like taking a lava chunk from Hawaii.
It's like taking a haunted piece of something from a location and taking it home with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a
It-
no.
and it was they even told us, I mean, the army people that were in charge of all the movements, I shouldn't say movements, but our AF Armed Forces recreational people,
Mhm.
that it was straight out. It was number one thing: do not take anything. Do not take it. Period. Don't pick it up. Don't put it in your pocket. Do not
Don't
carry
take
it
a
out of
blade
that
of
black forest.
grass, a rock, nothing.
No. Oh my gosh! And then we're talking about people that there were people that went insane supposedly for carrying this stuff, and the only way that their family was able to bring them back was to return that
Mhm.
piece of whatever they took back to the Black Forest.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. You know, it's unless you barter or buy.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you can take something.
Yeah.
So I tried to look for any modern accounts of like hauntings or cryptid sightings. There weren't any that I could find, except that there have been modern eyewitness accounts of people coming like in those in the Black Forest, accidentally stumbling upon like a black mass, like occult activity. That is something that modern people have claimed to have seen or witnessed in the Black Forest, which kind of makes sense because if you think about it like this is Germany. A lot of the occult stuff that we know here in this country and like the witchcraft, a lot of it came over here from there. This is kind of like where a lot of that originated. So
sure.
It
I mean,
kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to say this: different religions still exist. They have a different higher power than we do, but it still exists, and they still do practice.
Yeah.
So
the Headless Horseman that came over from Germany.
Yep, sure did. And
that cracks me up. I'm sorry, that cracks me up.
To what you were saying a second ago, though, about the other, I mean, most of the other religions are all more in tune with nature than the religions that Western world practices.
Right.
I mean,
it's all about
you
being
do have your Christians. Yeah, it's primarily Christian. But yeah, there are different religions still alive and well over there, as well as here in the United States. So, I mean, that is nothing new. I guess for us anyway, is they're still practicing their rituals and things.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Dark magic.
I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean, look at a Hansel and Gretel, for God's sakes.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
I'm thinking there was a. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You good?
No, I was just gonna say I'm thinking there's probably a lot of stuff there that was summoned there.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
I mean, we can get into this on a different show, but I mean, look at Hitler and everything that he was doing. Some have a theory that he was dabbling in the dark arts, that he may have been in a state of oppression at that point when he started to go nutso.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's going to get to this one or not, but there's one picture out there that we're talking about. It's the Heidelberg, what was it called? The Heidelberg Hexenturm. The Heidelberg Hexenturm, which is the Witch's Tower. Okay. At that Witch's Tower, around it is also what's called the Nazi Amphitheater. Everything that happened in Heidelberg, the Nazis used the Hexenturm and the amphitheater to do their whatever they were doing at the time.
Right.
And that amphitheater, and they're both. I mean, the Heidelberg Hexenturm will, while not big, it will absolutely, when you get in it, you're like, something's not right here. Something is not right here. The amphitheater, not so much, but both of them, they have their own ghosts. I mean, and I don't know if you consider it a residual or if they're actually intellectual hauntings. I mean, honestly, because I've never actually tried it, but I've heard stories about responses to questions, quote unquote, especially in the Hexenturm.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. I mean, if there is anywhere that you think that you're going to see a lady in white, Europe is my number one place. Anywhere in Europe, any of the castles or anything like that. If you're going to see a lady in white, that's where I expect to see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
There are almost too many ghost stories because Germany had so many castles and forts and old sanitariums, and then World War II sites. It was almost ridiculous. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, there's no way I can sift through all this just, for one
Yeah.
show. It would just be impossible.
You
I
could do a
gotta
week
say,
of
though,
shows and not hit them all.
I gotta move on to this one, though, because this one is a juicy one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
So, there is a cryptid there, although it's not 100% confirmed that it's a cryptid, because it might be a
Okay.
person. But at the very least, if it's a person, it's like a feral human. But in the Harz Mountains, Harz Mountains in northern Germany, from 2015, people have, and that location is very popular for vacationers, tourists, and people who just want to go out recreationally.
Yeah.
As a hobby, like just hiking through the woods. But since 2015, a lot of these hikers have been coming back with reports of sightings of a hairy man. But the hairy man that people experience would be sitting there like on a log or on a rock, just casually, like legs crossed, completely buck naked.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man covered in hair. He's like man-sized. His face and features all look like just a normal guy proportions, but he's covered in hair, completely naked, holding like a makeshift like stick, as if made into like a spear, casually sitting on like a log or a rock, and he would just like stare wide-eyed at the people as they walk by, and not say a word.
Now,
and guess what, guys? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm going to ask it after you finish. Sorry.
We've got someone snapped a photo of this hairy man thing.
Okay.
And it's clear as day. You ready to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, he's got to find it now. Oh, there it is.
It's a guy.
Yeah.
You don't need red circles for that one.
No.
Okay, so the first thing that immediately strikes you is, well, that could just be just a guy. It looks like just a guy, except for the fact that according to the witnesses, the naked part, it is what it is. But it's just that they say he's covered in dark hair, but then everything else looks normally human. The woman who saw him up close, like he was just staring at her, and she was just like up close, just staring at him. She said that the face looked like just that of like a guy in his 40s. But to her, it looked like some kind of like prehistoric man. Like her immediate thought was like a Neanderthal.
And that's what I was
honestly looking at that picture. What I thought originally was natives in Africa. You know how they kind of they get around a source of water and they start they crouch down like that right there.
Yeah.
I wish we could see his face better. God.
That is
but this is northern Germany. This is a pretty civilized. Now, a lot of people just say they dismiss it as some guy who's just living off the grid, right?
Yeah.
That wouldn't explain why his body's covered like that, though, in fur and hair.
Well, there are some people out there that still carry that gene. Where they just have massive body hair. I mean, we see it all the time. This could be the case that we're talking about. And
this was like all over the news in Germany when this photo came out.
Yeah, but that's weird for him to be in public, not in public, but out in the open and having just a grand old time watching people.
Yeah, like he wouldn't even react. He would just sit there and just stare at people, regardless of how close they got to him.
Yeah.
As if he was like seeing them like that kind of human for the first time. Like he would gawk back at them.
That's another one I was thinking about too. The Aborigines. That's another spot I was thinking about on it. Because as dark as he is, I wish they could have got a better picture of him. Oh man, I wish they could have got a better picture. But I'm with you. I mean, we're not sure what he is. We know he's a man though. That's a man.
Clearly looks like a person.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, 'cause that's
But
skin.
I
I mean,
mean,
he's dirty. Don't get me wrong. He's dirty, but I don't know.
could this be a fact, maybe a feral person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that moved off grid and they've been off grid so long now that it doesn't really matter
No. And
that they have lost the.
but if he'd have been a cryptid or something like that, or a, let's just say a lost Neanderthal or whatever the case might be, if she'd have
Mhm.
walked that close to him, he'd have bolted. Okay.
Not necessarily. Not
Uh,
necessarily. I mean, we got to think about this. There are some cryptids that do not bolt. They don't run. They just stare at you, and they let you know when you're too close. You know what I mean? That we've heard all the stories and the encounter stories of this type of thing happening. It's like when you get too close to them, that's when that the aggression starts.
yeah.
But I mean, but in this case,
I just think it's kind of funny that she is the only one that's ever been able to capture this picture.
But there's been a bunch of sightings of him fairly recently. I looked
Fairly
into it. The earliest one was 2015. Most
Okay.
recent that I was aware of was 2023.
Yeah, and that's
So
this one, right?
this is going on right now. But when I
At
saw
least
this
she
picture,
had the wherewithal to have the camera with her ready to go.
yeah.
And I bet
At
it's her
least-
phone, more than likely.
But when I
Yeah.
saw this picture, I was like, what?
I mean, it's doing something with its other hand, like it's building something or digging for something,
yeah.
My other
I mean,
question is, why is it black and white?
I don't
We
think that's
could-
black and white. I think that's just the color. That's what it is.
No, I'm talking about, look at the tree and the stuff behind it. Now my truth or tinfoil is coming out. I'm trying to look at it in a analytical kind of look, but I'd have to sit there and play with it because, like I said, I think it's already been adjusted to start with. But
Yeah.
either way, we're still looking at a person there. We don't know
Yeah.
what kind of person. We don't know if it's feral or what. There's somebody there. There's somebody there.
Well, when she's talking about looking at his face and stuff, I mean, could we be dealing with someone who has some facial deformities, who has been cast outside? They're an outcast now. They can't live in normal society, nor would they maybe have the mental capacity to do so. So
Right.
this is what they have become,
Yep.
due to the fact is they can't live in
Yeah.
normal society. This is how they are.
Completely
and
feral. Yeah.
Right, like I said, and the more isolation they have, the more feral they become. Exactly. So, I mean, this could be definitely what we're looking at.
Right.
You know what I'm doing right now, right? I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at all the episodes of Naked and Afraid and find out if they ever did Germany. Okay.
Look up Wolfman of Harz. HARZ.
I found it already. In
Yeah.
fact, I found an Indian news video on it too. I was kind of watching it that as well. It's like they're the only ones that actually put a video of it and put it out on their actual news stations in India about it. I'm like, that's actually cool. Now the way they're looking at it, and then he's talking about it and everything.
Yeah.
Then he starts talking about possibly Yeti footprints that the Indian Army had found, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I'd laugh my butt off if any of our people, our news outlets here, did something like that. I would love it, just out of spite,
Yeah. I mean, we can't go out of the realm of that this is somebody with just, physical deformities and maybe mental issues.
And antisocial.
Yeah, and this is them now,
Yeah.
like, because we know what can happen to people when you put them in isolation for long periods of time, that they just lose all track of reality. And could this be the case? Sure.
Yeah,
So
why not?
I wouldn't necessarily call it on the cryptid
cryptid?
side. I would really have to find out more about this thing. We're just gonna
But
call
it's
it a thing
cool
right
as
now.
hell, though.
Even though it most likely isn't a cryptid, it's still pretty weird.
It
Wow.
is pretty weird. I mean, because
Yeah.
we hear about, of course, the feral people in the Appalachian Mountains. We hear about that,
Yeah.
Nope.
and they've come across them many,
But even
many,
those
many
people, at
times.
least they at least wear clothes. This guy's like just walking around buck naked.
But if he's in isolation by
Yeah.
himself, I mean, what good are clothes? I mean, why?
Yeah.
And if he's probably already acclimated to that environment to start with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if he's that age and
This
he
guy
looks like
was
that out there, yeah.
if this guy is indeed just a human, then I think he was born into wilderness.
Yeah.
And maybe so.
Yeah. Pretty close
Maybe
if he
so.
wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, especially if, he had a family or something and they have now passed, you know what I'm saying? So he is now in his complete own isolation.
Yeah. And, standing stones, are there families of them? I would bet if there were families of them, we'd have seen and heard a lot more about them if there was actual families.
Now,
He
some
may
of
be
the
the only one.
more outlandish theories I've heard was that this might actually be the last remaining Neanderthal. I mean, that is part of where they originated from. They're from like France and Germany in that area.
In the mountain
That's
ranges.
kind of hard to believe. Just it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it being a feral person. If you consider that Germany, not only is it not that big of a country, but it's pretty densely populated for a country of that size.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. Like, again, like I said in the very beginning, they build on top of one another and not spread out. So they keep most of their countryside pristine.
Yeah.
Even if you hit a deer on the road, you have to call the forestmeister and they have to come out and they have to tag that thing.
Yep. And if you're lucky, they might share it with you.
Maybe.
Oh, I just looked up. I just typed in which U.S. state is the most similar in size to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
It says Montana.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Montana is slightly larger.
And it's on the same latitude? Yeah, same latitude as what Vermont is. So
Germany is 357,000 square kilometers. Montana is 380,000 square kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, they can fit inside Texas.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same thing. You start thinking of like Wyoming, Montana. I mean, you could think of that scenery, and it's pretty similar. It is very similar, except there, it's got that black forest, and it's more, the forests are more dense, should I say?
83 million population in the space the size of Montana. So
there ain't 83 people in Montana. What are you talking about? I've driven through there. Yeah. There's probably maybe 250,000 or so, maybe in Montana, I think.
There might be more than that. I don't know. Look it up.
Not by a lot.
It up.
I don't
It'd be interesting to know.
Population of Montana?
Yeah.
I bet there's not a million.
1.137 million.
There you go.
I'll be danged. They've grown in.
Yeah. But again, it's like the same thing. They're all living in the towns and they're not spread out all over the place in Montana. It's like if you see a house, it's like there's a reason why. It's either cattle or horse or whatever they're doing there.
Or mountain men.
Mountain men, that too. I don't know, but that is kind of strange though. Like I said, I mean, that picture does give you the what if.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I always have that theory of, that Bigfoot, if it was on the human evolution line, that it kind of took a left turn somewhere.
Possibly.
What if this particular thing took a right turn? You know what I mean? It didn't become as hairy or as big or as thick. It stayed slim, but yet carried some Neanderthal characteristics. There is always that.
Yeah.
But I'm I would have to learn a lot more to kind of make a determination on that. We'll leave everybody in chat to their own
Yeah.
thoughts and opinions there, because I don't know what that is. It looks like a man.
Yeah,
Have
it
we
does.
seen super
It
hairy
does.
men?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But if we could see more of the facial features,
Hmm.
maybe that would kind of, help us lean one way or another way, or something.
And
That would
on
be,
that close up, the close up side there, as you look at it, it kind of looks like you might actually have a beard going on right there.
Yeah.
yeah, possibly. Standing
So
Stone says Tom Selleck. Absolutely.
I don't know about the Rick Grimes thing.
I could kind of see it.
You
From The
know, I
Walking
mean,
Dead.
just there are people that have just a tremendous amount of hair, and especially
Yeah.
when we talk. What is the name of the disease with the ones that have? It's the werewolf disease.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where
Right.
they constantly grow the hair. That's where you
Yeah.
get the bearded boy, werewolf boys and stuff from P.T. Barnum's days and stuff. Yeah. And the
Yes.
bearded ladies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Hypertrichosis is what it's called.
There we
There
go.
you go. So what if we have somebody like that was basically maybe shunned by their community,
Could be.
Hmm.
and
It's tough to say.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
there is
that's
that. I mean, I
reminds me
don't
of a guy in
believe
the
it.
Outback from The Howling.
Oh,
Mostly
the
not
movie
as
The
that
Howling, I
hairy.
think where it's going with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you talk about those boys and everything.
Yeah.
They're
Those
not
boys
a
that make the
cryptid. They have a
genetic
overactive. What is that overactive? Is it
hair
pituitary
follicle.
gland, or it's something? It's
Yeah.
something where
Makes the
the
hair grow.
hair just keeps growing, just all
Yeah.
over the place, just
Yeah.
keeps growing. I mean, a lot of people have that. If you see the unibrow,
Mhm.
that's a form of it. When it's really super thick and goes across, and there is people who actually, well, females, matter of fact, who have facial hair, very long facial hair, and that has to do with their DNA. It's just something that happens. So we gotta keep that into our minds a little bit, because it could be all of this. It might
Yeah.
be just something strange for somebody to walk by and go, there's a naked guy and he's super hairy and he has maybe a protruding forehead and sunken eyes,
Hmm.
sometimes something that may look like facial deformity or something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we have to think about all of these things before I can make any type of decision on what that thing is. Is it weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
wild. Is what it is. It's just outright wild. I mean, honestly.
and
The
I have to think about stuff like this. I mean, is it crazy that guy's just sitting out there naked on the ground and drawing in the dirt
or digging in the
when
dirt, whatever he's doing there. Yeah.
when in New York City we've got a guy wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy
Mhm.
boots running around in his underwear playing a guitar.
Yeah.
Or a diaper, whatever that was.
It's his underwear, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hope
sure,
it
I
was.
remember
but
that
I
guy.
hope it was.
right. So you never know. Could this be for shock value? Sure. And then you also have to remember that nudity and things like that in Europe is a lot different than it
Oh,
is
yeah.
here.
Not looked at the same
It,
way at all.
yeah, no. Violence on TV in Europe is frowned upon. You won't see a lot of the violence, or you used to not see all of the
No.
violence.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But will you see a little bit of nudity on public TV? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you will.
Yep.
Yes, you will.
Especially late at night on the right channel.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And it's
They
kind of
still had
like
their Skinamax. They had their own Skinamaxes.
I don't even think it's like that, because you don't even have to pay
Yeah.
for it. It's regular TV.
Yeah. Just regular TV.
And it's like their newspapers, things like that, like the Inquirer in the United States. The Inquirer in
Yep.
the United States, everybody's seen one of those. They have a type of newspaper over there, but they do show some type of nudity in that.
Yep.
Soft nudity, but it is nudity all the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is looked upon differently. And what I remember is Speedos.
Oh God! Oh, why'd you bring that up?
Hmm.
Well, it's the truth. Speedos were worn widely among the locals.
By guys like me, though, that's the problem.
By everybody. Everybody. Everybody wore Speedos.
That might be scarier than the ghosts.
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, it was. It was. It was. But there are just so many different things about Europe, and like I said, we're going to have to take into account their culture and things like that to find out about this. And now it's,
Crossroads is wondering what Tex looks like in the Speedo now. Tex in the Speedo.
You know what? Don't put that vision in my head, please.
No, because I've got a, hey, CCR, I got a picture you'll want to look at later on. You can imagine it after that, because I got a picture that I always put out of me on naked and afraid, sitting on a beach waiting for a box of Krispy Kremes to come up. Yeah, that kind of deal. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, that's terrible. That is so terrible.
Like you're saying, though, I mean, it's the same way all over Europe. I mean, you go into a main downtown park plots or bulk plots or whatever that you just the markets and stuff that you walk through. You go to a corner and there is a stand and it's got 4 little things sticking out and nothing but little holes right there. That's where you pee. You literally pull up to it, take your whiz, keep on rolling.
Yep.
Because it goes straight into the sewer and it's done. If you pulled that crap in this country right now, we'd have oh my gosh, everybody and their dog would have their conniptions about it because we're too high strung. We're too high strung when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, we have to take into account of the culture and exactly what's going on over there. But do I think that stuff lurks in the forests over there? 100%.
All of them.
Do I think those castles are haunted? Yes. 100%. I really, really do, because you never feel like you're alone, even when you are alone. Because a lot of these castles that you pull up, there is nobody there. Absolutely nobody.
Yep.
Because they're in ruins. The locals aren't going. They're like, heck, whatever. But
they already know. They've already been there. They know what's there. They leave it alone.
It's just kind of like whatever. But there are a lot of these castles that are in ruins that nobody visits. It's kind of like they're forgotten in time.
Yeah.
They're just forgotten. Yep. And I've been to many of them, and you just never feel like you're alone. But then again, with it being ruins, you try to take any type of equipment or anything with you, you're going to get these really weird readings. You're outside. And, by the time you take in the noise of the environment around, and some of them are remote, but then you've got birds and bugs and, all of this stuff, it really is it's hard to capture evidence. And plus you can't go in after dark. No, so it is super hard to capture evidence.
Right.
But would I love to? Yeah.
It would be cool to go.
I would do it over a cemetery any day.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm looking at one that Patty put out there earlier from like about 30 minutes ago.
I got a couple starred here actually.
Yeah, that was the one I was looking at. That one right there.
She says Hohenzollern Castle, located in the Black Forest. This neo-Gothic fortress is a popular comparison for Hogwarts because of its commanding position on a mountaintop.
I can honestly say,
on a mountaintop.
Yeah,
there's a ton of them on a mountaintop.
But I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and I'm like, I can honestly say this is one I have not seen, and I hadn't heard about. Because when she said it, I was like, okay, I need to look at this real quick, and I just brought it up, and I'm like looking at it, like, man, this is on the same level as what King Ludwig II of Bavaria had. One castle, like we were talking about, it was in the middle of the lake, and it was it's so ornate and so lavish that it's like, I mean, how did this guy not go broke just putting this thing together to start with? This one is in that same realm, really. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful, but it looks like they've done certain things to kind of help keep it up, type thing.
Mhm.
So it'd be one I'd like to see because you look over the turrets and stuff, it looks like you're looking out across the valleys there at Hogwarts. You know,
Mhm.
it's really cool looking. But anyway, sorry, I just looked at that. I was like, man, that is cool right there.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of them are.
hey, it's Rob.
Rob, hi,
Hi,
Rob.
Rob. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it doesn't matter what castle it is. It doesn't matter what ruin it is. Doesn't matter what patch of ground it is. I bet there's a ghost on it there in Germany.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Europe is like that, man. Europe is like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But that being said, there's a monastery in Wildflicken, Germany,
Yeah.
and those monks make the best beer in the world. Period, bar none.
Mm.
I'll tell you that right
You've
now.
had it?
We used to have in our company, my company that I was in Germany, we had one keg, and it made its round around to the different platoons, and whoever's turn it was to go get it replaced, that was who had to go get it. It was about 2.5 hour drive from where we were in Wiesbaden.
Mm.
But you go there instead of a place called Kreuzberg, which is outside of Wildflicken. You take it in, and while you're waiting for them, because they didn't just give you another keg, they would take it back and refill it for you. Okay.
Mm.
And the second time I went, they finally put in a little restaurant slash drinking place, so you could get a pint of it too. You get a pint and sit there, a stein of it, and drink and have a little schnitzel while you're waiting and everything. One of my buddies said, "Hey, we're going to go to the top of the Kreuzberg, the little hill right here, right?
Mhm.
What it is a bunch of steps going up the side of the mountain where there's 3 crosses up on top. That's why they call it Kreuzberg."
Mm.
I will never forgive him. That was 1,345 steps I had to take to get up that daggum hill.
Yikes.
I was not happy by the time I got up there. And by the time we got back down, you can bet I went straight to the beer.
Well, one quick little story before we have to go.
Okay.
But anyway, so traveling through Bavaria and seeing all of that stuff, and you see all these mountains and stuff, they're just jutting up from the ground. There's no like elevation. It's just like they just go from flat ground and boop, there they are. So in the midst of all of this, there is a little town called, I'm going to try to pronounce it right, Tronstein. I think it's Tronstein. Anyway,
Okay.
they have this little church. Well, they have a statue in the center, and it is of Mother Mary. Well, this Mother Mary is said to cry blood and tears in
Wow.
this particular one.
I think I've heard of that one too. Yeah, good
I
one.
sat there for an hour and a half watching her.
Yeah.
She didn't do either.
Mm.
I
You
tried.
jinxed her. You jinxed her.
Well, I was watching her. Because we had some time, and so I'm sitting in
Yeah.
this church. Now, the churches, you've got to understand too. Churches are not heated; they're not cooled. It's kind of
Mm-mm.
like they're built of the stone, and that's the way it is. If it's hot in church or cold in church, you just dressed appropriately.
Yeah.
That's what you do. But
That's it.
anyway, so I sat in there and I watched her for a while. And this church is very ornate. I have pictures of it somewhere, but it is very, very beautiful in there and everything that they have. But I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that these statues are really like flowing tears of blood or anointment oil or even just regular human tears? Do you think that they're doing that?
Personal opinion, I think it's a combination of iron oxide, rust per se,
Mm.
combined with a type of condensation, if you want to call it that.
Mhm.
But I will also not shake a stick at it being quote unquote a miracle either, because I mean,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if it's real or not. If it makes somebody believe it's a miracle, their
It's like
belief
that
It's a
is
scene
what
in
miracle
matters.
to
Pulp
them.
Fiction. It's like the scene in
Exactly.
Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah,
miracle to you. You know what I
it's a
mean?
miracle to
Doesn't
them.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
right.
anybody else says. What was
Yeah,
my favorite line from Secondhand Lines? Just because something ain't true, don't mean you can't believe in it. You know?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they call her the Weeping Madonna. So,
Mm.
I mean, it'd be interesting to be able to check that out and see, what I mean, if I could have seen her cry. I mean, I tried. I watched her.
Yeah.
I kept going
But
up and looking
she
at her
didn't.
real close.
You can look
Nothing.
at the way the devouts look at it and say, well, she knew you didn't need her to cry for you at that point.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
honestly that's the way. If I was the one sitting there as the protector of the miracle or whatever you want to call it, well,
Yeah.
you don't need it, so that's why she didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, there was a definite different feeling in this church.
Yeah.
That's when I found out that I was pregnant with my first child, is on this trip
Mm.
that I went. And because then I started showing symptoms, all the fun symptoms of being pregnant. And so it was like a spiritual trek, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to sit there in this church and all of this other kind of stuff. And it gave you a very wholesome, very loving, like, feeling while
Felt
you
the
were
warmth
in there.
around you, didn't you?
Yeah, it just felt good to be in there. A lot of people reported that they felt cold being in there. I
Some didn't
mean,
like it.
yeah, it's just kind of like it's totally up to you and how you're going to feel in there. But for me, it was just a nice, homey, comfortable feeling being in there. And like I said, that's how come I sat in there for so long.
Mm.
So I was very good about that. Anyway, so we got to get off of here. Paranormal Paul is coming on.
He's live right now, as a matter of fact. So,
He's live right
yeah.
now, so we got to get off of here. Let him get on.
Yep. Y'all have
Yep.
fun, and yeah, you got it, Donnie. Go see
Yeah.
Paul.
Go see Paul. And we'll see everybody on Four Blondes, One Mystery at a Time podcast tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Central. And directly after that at 8 p.m. Central, it'll be a Blondes and Boo show. Come see us tomorrow night, and we'll see you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Oh, I'm pushing it.
You're
Yeah,
pushing
push
it.
the button. Yeah, that
Okay.
button.